Not yet. I'm waiting for the session. Then I'll go for dinner.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, the screen is visible, right? So
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Okay then.
Now we can start the session.
Okay.
Yeah.
One moment. Have you started recording it? Sai?
Yes, Teja, I have started recording.
Okay, okay. Then you can start it fresh now. And is it like interactive or only I can proceed with explaining the basic things?
Yeah, first you can introduce yourself and you can start the session.
Sai?
Yeah.
Yeah, should it be interactive or I will just explain the overview of the session?
Yeah, first you can explain if you want to me. I will interact you, no problem.
Okay, okay, for sure. Yeah. Okay.
First you can explain the basic and you can start the session for 10 to 15 minutes. That's it.
Okay, okay, for sure then.
Thank you.
Uh, yeah, yeah. Myself, Teja, I am expert in Unix and Linux system. I work with the majority of the Unix flavors and some of the Linux flavors too. And I worked with some of the corporates, and right now I'm working as consultant for cloud services like Amazon and OpenStack. I have industry experience with some multiple MNCs, and right now I'm a consulting partner for them. And I do work with Amazon, especially for this Amazon Web Services, and I'm reseller for Google App products. So this is my basic profile. And while coming to the Amazon Web Services, the basic understanding is that you should have some basic knowledge of either development or sysadministration. So if you have any knowledge of how the infrastructure works, or if you are specialized in some coding languages like Java, or if you're good with some scripting languages, or if you have any experience with Python, any experience, any IT experience is good for us to go ahead with this Amazon Web Services. And especially in this Amazon, we have mainly two types of profiles. One is the infrastructure part, and another one is the development part. If you go with the infrastructure part, it is something called as SysOps, and if you are into development, then it is called DevOps. So for the infrastructure part, we can learn something called EC2, the left column. So the EC2, the containers, how the virtualization happens, or how the code, can be stored in object storage or data storage. Storage option, go ahead with infrastructure services. And especially in SysOps, we cover topics called the EC2, S3, the block storage, in the sense the EBS, and we'll cover something related to load balancing and database services like RDS, DynamoDB also will cover. Apart from this, we'll cover something called VPC, how cloud, we can get it from Amazon, and we'll have some DNS services like Route 53, and how we can connect to them. And we will also discuss topics like how we can provide our application and our instances, which are nothing but our servers, virtual servers. So we'll cover topics related to the security and security of application and security of our instances, virtual machines. Apart from this, we'll see how we can monitor the performance of our databases, or how we can measure the performance of applications, or we can also get the in detail statistics of how the server is performing, the CPU utilization or the memory, everything. It comes under the sysops part. And apart from this, in DevOps, we generally concentrate on something called the deployment part, how the code get deployed, how it is configured, or the cloud front, where the CDN or the content distribution network, how we can configure that in Amazon, that we can we'll see in that in DevOps part. Apart from this, we majorly concentrate something on security. Whenever there is any cloud system, the first thing we need to go ahead is with our security. That particular security concept we will cover it, and something called infrastructure. At the network level security we will cover, as well as instance level security also will cover in the same. And related to the user access, individual user, how we can provide security to our cloud systems. Like if you can see here, the security identity part will cover it, how the integration of Windows AD or Linux LDAP will happen with our Amazon services, that we can discuss in these topics. And apart from this, there are some new things which are related to internet, like IoT, that will give some brief introduction about that. And later on we'll see how we can get alerts, the performance alerts. We can receive some mails. We can get the monitoring alerts to that mail, to mails, so that we can these topics. And apart from this, once the course, this course content generally it is 25 to 40 days, by depending on the pace of receiving. Once the candidate, if the candidate is able to grab the topics very easily, then 25 days is sufficient, and we can extend it up to maximum 40 days. So all the topics which we cover here, they are purely practical. We'll give you theory, and once the theory is done, we'll directly work on the services which are available in Amazon, like the EC2 or any other services. What are the topics which we are covering? We'll immediately do the practical, and so it will make you some clear hands-on experience on that. And once we are done with all these modules, once we are done with the entire session, then we will provide you some further reading where you can get some additional info, or if there are any new services or introduced into the Amazon console, then you can get that information easily through the particular topics or particular references where we give. If you go through that, then you can get all the information. And apart from this, once the module is completed, we'll give you some free labs, online labs. You can directly get it from Amazon. We will let you know how you can get that free usage with Amazon. And apart from this, we will guide you through some through your resume preparation also. Once you are done with the topics, we will explain you how you can expose your profile, or you can include these topics in your resume, which will add some more weight to your CV. We will guide it how you can include all these topics in your resume. That resume preparation also will help you. And apart from this, if you need any other technical topics which needs to be covered, once we are done with these sessions, if anything needs to be covered, then we will take them again, and we will let you know in detail how you can work with these particular topics. And we will generally discuss how to face the interview also. We'll give you some sample scenarios which generally required in interviews. So we'll explain you how you can face the interviews with your resume preparation, and we are ready to go with any of the topics which will help you to excel in your career. Yeah, in that way you can proceed ahead or go ahead.
Okay, Teja, thank you. And can you
Yeah,
explain
yeah,
about one topic in brief, like just a 10 minutes topic?
yeah. For example, if we consider this EC2, this is one of the main part of any cloud system. The compute is one of the uh, important concept where you let all the instances gets deployed here. For example, if you see here, there are some, if I click on these instances, here I can find all the servers, all the operating systems or any of the instances or the virtual machines which are available in my Amazon account, then I can get it from here. If I launch an instance, I can get that instance here. And if you see here, the volumes or the block devices will go in detail in the further sessions. So here we can create some virtual hard disk which is attached to a system that we can get it here, the elastic IPs or the public IPs which are application will be accessed through the internet. So if anyone wants to access the application, then we need to have some elastic IP to our instance or for our application. Then we can assign one elastic IP, and then our application is accessible to the entire world. And we can have some good number of security measures by using these security groups. We'll create some security groups, and we'll launch our virtual servers by using these security groups so that they will have um, some good amount of security for our instance. So for example, if you want to edit this, if I can click here, and right now entire traffic is allowed to my instance, in the sense anyone from the internet. So they can directly connect to our instance, and if I want to restrict, I can clearly do that. So if I don't want to allow all traffic to my instance, then I can enable any of these services. For example, if I want SSH to be accessed from anywhere, so I can simply select the service, and I will select here anywhere in the sense anyone on the internet can directly access my instance. That we can do. This adds one more level of security to my instance. So in the same way, we can configure some application ports also. For example, if we have a web application, if I have some web server, then I can just select this HTTP port or HTTP service, and I can allow it from anywhere. But in general, this SSH port is not enabled for the internet users. Here I can mention my particular IP where only the corporate intranet, whoever in the corporate internet, they can access my instance or they can log into my instance. So in that way I can provide some level of security to that. And if I'm using Windows system, then I can go ahead with something called RDP, and I can assign some particular service. I can just enable the service, so I can get the Windows console. So to learn EC2, especially the infrastructure part, either the basic knowledge of Linux or Windows or any operating system works fine. And so this Amazon, especially in Amazon, we can launch any number of Linux or Windows flavors to get our work done. Apart from this, there are something called load balancing. If we have multiple servers and if we need high availability for our application, and we want to share the load among the instances, then we can go ahead with this load balancer. And apart from this, there is something called auto deployment or auto scaling, which we generally term it. So if there is any huge traffic that needs to be handled, then I can go with auto scaling groups where my instance will get automatically deployed. One more new instance get launched by using these auto scaling groups. So if I have one instance and it is able to handle some 1 million users, and if there is some more traffic needs to be handled, then my cloud will automatically launch one more instance to handle the new traffic. And whenever the traffic gets decreased, then it will automatically destroy one of the instance. So it will give very good user experience to the end user. So anyone on the internet, they can access my instance without any lag, or there won't be any service disruption by using these auto scaling groups. That is one of the good concepts that we are going to cover in this Amazon Web Services. And there are two types that you can work with Amazon. One is through GUI and another one is through CLI. If we are good in development part, or if we are good in working with command line part, then we can work with this CLI part. But in general, the GUI will let us know almost all the services which we can use. So, and for coming to the part, there is nothing needs to be installed in our system apart from some SSH clients like Putty or any other SSH client is enough for us to work with these Amazon systems. So to access this Amazon console, we need a browser, and apart from that, Putty or any other SSH client is sufficient, and nothing more than this SSH clients is required. Or if we are working with Windows, then we need something called remote desktop application, RDP protocol. By connect to our Windows instance, so there is nothing needs to be installed on our system, and we can do almost all the operations in our browser. So this is something related to EC2, and there is something called VPC, which is very secure area in our cloud. Although these Linux or all the instances or the virtual machines are available at Amazon location, we can have more security to those applications by using VPC. So we can go ahead with VPC to have more security to our applications. Here we will create some networks. It is something related to the networking part of the Amazon Web Services, where we create some virtual gateways, virtual routers, the internet gateways, the VPC communication. We will have this entire concept is purely related to the networking, how we can provide more level of security to our running instances. So here by default we have one VPC here. So as I have said, this is purely networking concepts. Here I will have one VPC and it has divided into multiple subnets. Like you can see here, here the subnets are distributed across the regions. So one of my instance subnet is in US East 1A region, and these are nothing but the availability zones. The data centers which are located physically at Amazon sites, they are generally called as availability zones, where we will have a single or more than one data center can be combined to form a availability zone, and here they are designated with a name called US East 1A, 1B, or it can be any name which is predefined by Amazon. And while coming to the availability zones, we can see the available zones here. The regions where our availability zones are present, it is purely the designing part. The availability zones is not pure technical, but it is the designing, the architecting the cloud. So these are the data centers which are available with our Amazon cloud. So if we have more number of users in US region, then we can deploy our instances by using these US selected regions. And if I have more number of users in EU, then I can go ahead with launching my instances in this region, or my instances or my applications I can just configure in this region. And if I have users from Asia Pacific region, then I can go ahead with this Asia Pacific region. So Amazon data centers, they are distributed across the world. We can deploy these instances or our applications anywhere, and it will give the services with very less latency. So in that way, we can go ahead with these regions, the combination of regions, availability zones, the designing part. It is like developing a solution for particular scenario. If I need to have some new application needs to be deployed, or if I needs to have a new website that needs to be launched in internet, then I can choose all these factors like the availability zone or the regions I can get best by depending on the end users. I can select one of the regions and I can deploy my applications over there, and I can give security to my instance or applications by using the security groups, and the VPC at the network level also we can give some security to them. And we have some other services like the database services, something called as RDS. RDS is nothing but it is like a relational database. It is something similar to our Oracle database or MySQL and similar to that. And apart from this RDS, we have something called DynamoDB. DynamoDB is NoSQL database in general. It is similar to that MongoDB. So these are also very important topics where we can get our applications work with databases directly. So in RDS we'll have multiple database applications or database servers. Like we can select any of the software like Oracle, MS SQL or MySQL. We can go ahead with any of these, and we will let you know how the pricing will happen for this particular instances or the databases or the applications. So apart from the technical knowledge, we will explain you how the cost estimation will happen and why we need to migrate our applications to the cloud. These are some topics which enable us to work better in our planning. So whenever we are architecting or whenever we are designing any environment, just we need to go ahead with this cost estimation. Then we will get the best performance with the best cost. So in that way we can check, we can select the particular type of instance or particular types of databases or the application servers. So apart from this, there is something. We will see how the instances or the applications are priced in Amazon services and what are the benefits of these instances. If we go with some, by depending on the end user, by depending on the number of users for my application, I will go ahead with purchasing some particular types of instances which will handle my application. So we can go ahead with that. And any service which we are using in this Amazon console, they are chargeable, and we will discuss in detail about how they are being charged. Once we start with the regular sessions, we will discuss how they are being charged and how to get the best cost-effective solutions for that. We will once we complete all these sessions, we will we can easily select some best designing where I can get best cost-effective solution and high availability applications. And uh, apart from this, we will get something called the best available speed for the internet. If my website is being accessed or my web application is being accessed by someone from one part of the globe, if one of my user is from US, he will have same experience as the user who is available in UK. So we will let you know how this design can be made. We will let you know how the constraints can be done by using the pricing. The pricing is one of the important concepts which we will cover in any of the cloud systems. We will consider pricing, and we will consider high availability of our applications or databases. These are some basic concepts related to the database services, where we can create some clusters, or we can have snapshot of the databases available. We can create some security to our database. Everything we'll discuss in database related services. And apart from this, there are some other services. Once we start with our regular classes, we'll discuss all these concepts. And as we are purely going with technical sessions, apart from these practical things, so it will generally enable us to have hands-on experience. Anyone who completed these sessions, he will have hands-on experience, and they can easily face their interviews, or they can easily design any application related infrastructure. For example, if they want to develop any website, then they will easily understand how much amount of memory is required, how much amount of hard disk is required, or how much amount of uh, monitoring, or how much amount of the computing power is required. Once you are done with any these complete sessions, you will get to know how we can estimate the cost, how we can estimate the performance. We let you know everything related to that, and the security on the portability. As we see nowadays, all the applications are portable. They can be accessed from anywhere. Either they can be accessed from laptop, your desktop, or your mobile devices. They can be accessed from anywhere, and we will let you know how these cloud services can be accessed from our computing devices, our mobiles or our laptops. We'll let you know everything related to that. So while coming to the coding part, if we consider something related to coding, then we can go with something related to the code commit and code deploy, which are like our subversion managers, and how we will make that particular code to the development region, how we can deploy this into the production. Everything will be discussed in something related to the DevOps. And apart from this, if you can see some other services like the direct connect, directory services, these are purely related to the access part, the user authentication part. We will discuss these topics also. So in final, once you are done with all these topics, you will have a confidence that you can design something in Amazon Web Services. That to that extent, we can take you once we are done with all these topics. Okay. So is there anything else that is required from the things which we have discussed already?
Yeah, nothing, Teja. It's fine now.
Yeah, it is something purely technical. I have said something in very high level technical things I have explained. But once we start the session, then I will take you through very simple concepts. And once we complete 2 or 3 classes, then we will increase the complexity. And once we are done with the entire module, then the users will be able to design everything in these Amazon Cloud Services. Yeah,
Yeah, sure.
yeah, that looks fine, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. So anytime you can get back to us if you need any assistance. Then in the next sessions, the if we have anything that needs to be discussed in our current sessions, if we need some more data information related to the topics which are covered in our current session, then you can easily get back to us in the next session. And once we clarify all the doubts or all the topics which are covered in the previous sessions, then we will go with the next topics. In that way, we can cover all these sessions. Okay.
yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
Teja. Yeah,
Yeah. That's it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Thank
Okay.
you. Thank you,
Bye
Teja.
bye.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Yeah. Bye.